This is Spreaker Web Radio.
Off the cuff, yeah. Off the cuff, yeah. It's off the cuff, 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 yeah. It's off the cuff, it's off the cuff, it's off the cuff, it's off the cuff, yeah.
This is God ordained. Get in position, cause we on a mission, fulfilling this vision, releasing contention, in this God we praise. The one who keeps us from falling, receiving this fullness. Who that man is awesome. You see, it's every day we celebrate. Right now it's time for us to elevate. So get your hands up, cause Hosanna's great. And see, they call it off the cuff because we tailor-made.
Off the cuff, yeah. Off the cuff, yeah.
That's great.
What you
That's
boxing
great.
and
What's up? What's up? What's up? Welcome to Off the Cuff, also known as OTC University. First, let me welcome those of you listening to the show for the very first time. Thank you for tuning in. Of course, mad love goes out to those of you who hang out with us every week.
Thank you.
Now the voice that you're listening to, the voice you just heard with thank you. That was none other than Lil Jan.
Big baby boy.
And of course, me speaking is Bobby, and my other crew member who's with me tonight, Easy E, we call him Big Eric.
What's up, y'all?
Holla at the folks. Good. We have a special guest in the house with us tonight.
Yes, sir.
We'll be hearing from her in just a little bit. For the past 2 weeks, we've been dealing with the topic of why are you here? Hasn't it been great?
Been great.
It's been great, right?
It's been awesome.
Been putting it out there, right?
Do you know why you're
People
here?
finding their purpose. We've dealt with examining your life and choices that you've made thus far. You'll know when you're in the right place because it will feel right. You ever been in that place when it feels right?
Yeah, I've been in some places that feel right.
Feel right.
Love that.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Have you been in some
Yes,
places?
sir.
Hey, man.
If you're not where you should be in life, then you have an empty feeling inside, always feeling like you could have done or should have done more with your life.
And if you're feeling empty, that probably wasn't the right place. I can tell you that.
So let us go ahead and dive back into the topic and go through some mastery ingredients that will assist you in finding your life purpose. Mastery ingredients, right? All right. Once you know what your life themes are, it is time to explore the specifics. Not specifics, but specifics of how you live out your life purpose.
No, you didn't.
To do that, you want to explore and identify ingredients of your area of mastery. The things, people, places, activities, experiences, talents, problems, and ideas you love to work with and think about. Think of these
Almost like it
as
sounds like you're
tools.
describing a noun.
I know, right? Tools in your
Basic
toolkit
things.
to help you do everything you need to do to fulfill your life purpose. These things will help you manifest the life purpose unique to you only. Check out this life purpose list of mastery ingredients to see how much this can help you define and clarify your life purpose. Okay, your mastery recipe. Do you dream of becoming a master or expert?
Yes, I do.
I bet you do.
About everything, right?
About everything.
Jack of all trades, master of none.
Right. Curious to discover your life's work and what you are born to excel at. All too often, we have trouble turning our dreams into reality. What often holds us back is not having a clear vision of what we want to master or who we want to become.
Go ahead.
Let alone a plan of how to achieve it. What you need is your own personal formula or recipe of mastery. A way to discover the work you want and are meant to do. The way to manifest your potential. And that is exactly what follows. A recipe for mastery. Here is the list of 8 essential ingredients to define what you are good at. Combined together, they describe your area of mastery. What you can excel at and be well paid for. You gotta get them funds. So let's get to it. You will need to answer each of these questions honestly. The problems, issues, and needs you love to solve. These are the tasks that you want to fulfill with your workday. Fill your workday with. They add meaning and purpose to your life and create work you deeply care about. The spirit or intent of mastery. These things are the energy behind the efforts a master makes in order to create perfection and work with all the elements of mastery. Materials, tools, processes, principles of nature. Eric?
We also got the places that you love, okay? These are the locations and environments you love to be in. These are the things that inspire you. You know, it could be a Broadway stage play or the rainforest. You know, you could want to.
Or fairy dust.
Could be fairy dust.
Whatever you need.
Whatever makes you happy. You know what I'm saying? These are the places that you get. Okay.
So places you love. Okay, go ahead.
Places you love. Okay, experiences you love. Okay. These are the events or situations.
Okay.
You know, circumstances. Sensations you love to be a part of.
Sensations.
Sensations. That's what it says.
Okay,
sensations, all right?
That's being somewhere you want to be.
That's what it is. Being somewhere you want to be.
Sensationalism.
Okay.
You know,
She's sensational.
You know, time play. Sometimes that is just the experience of reading a child's story or walking on the beach. Could be something as simple as that. Or thinking back to, at one time when I was going through something, I had to think back. I was going through something real heavy.
You always going through something.
I know, this was heavy. But I had to think back to when I was on the streets of Cleveland.
Here we go.
Here we go. Hey, I'm trying to help somebody.
Go ahead.
I had to think back to when I was on the streets of Cleveland, the music back in the 70s and stuff like that, all of that, and it made me happy. At that moment, that experience made me happy.
Okay.
And it lifted my spirit.
Take me back.
There it is right there.
Take me back, dear.
I wasn't singing that
He was
song.
talking about village people.
I think so. People you love, all right? The people you love are the persons you love to work with and be around, like your clients or your customers, your co-workers, your bosses. You know, it could be anybody that you just love to be around, you know?
Chad, you up. Let's go.
What if you don't love to be around nobody?
Well, you got some issues.
You got some
anyway.
problems.
You have no clue.
You got some things.
Not that that's me. I don't know why y'all looking at me like.
Oh, no, we just...
You know, I love everybody.
I know you do, Chad.
All right, now
You know?
listen, audience. Make sure you paying attention now, because all these are going to help you out.
They're going to help you out.
There you go.
Now, the next one is your skills, gifts, and talents. These are the abilities you excel at, and they define the work you are naturally great at.
Okay, I see that.
Ideas and knowledge you love. These are the things you love to think about or mull over. They fill your mind with and spark your imagination, excite your curiosity, and fill your most interesting conversations. Now we can go a long way with that, but I'm
but
gonna skip over that.
keep going.
Things that you love, things you love, things you love. These are tools, materials, and objects you love to work with and be around. They make you feel good, inspire you, and delight you.
Yes.
Got to find a delight in life.
Gotta have a delight.
I better go ahead.
Activities, keep it moving. Activities you love. These are the tasks and projects you love to do. The things you love to fill your free time with. That keep you up late at night and not HBO and Showtime. The activities you daydream about is what we're talking about here. Keep it moving, Chad.
You up, Chad.
Finally, you are ready to craft a life purpose statement,
Go ahead,
which
let's craft
reflects your own personal ideas about why you are here and how you will fulfill your unique life purpose. Now, if you want to know what you were born to do, what work you are meant to succeed at and accomplish, creating a life purpose statement is the best way to actually achieve that. Okay, first of all, what is a life purpose statement? Let's discuss that for a second. A life purpose statement describes in clear and full detail the reason you exist, why you're here, and how you see yourself or your life unfolding.
So is life purpose like vision?
I guess it could be a vision for yourself.
Like a mission statement? You know
A mission statement for your life.
Yeah, for your life.
Yeah.
Okay,
You're writing a business plan for your life.
There you go. I got you. I'm tracking.
You tracking?
I'm tracking.
All right. I hope everybody else is tracking. Here's an example of a life purpose statement before you go through the mastery ingredients. I always have wanted to do something like saving wildlife when I was growing up,
Talking about them hug a tree folks and all that.
yeah, hug a tree, plant a tree, save a whale.
Save a whale, people.
Yeah, you know,
Okay, I got you.
Greenpeace, you know.
All right.
Well, okay.
Yeah.
Man, them dudes are sensitive.
No, they're not sensitive. They
Man, them dudes will save a tree but call you the N-word.
they just
I'm just saying.
But they'll plant a tree.
care about the environment. That's
But they don't care about you.
it's okay.
It's amazing.
Yeah.
I digress.
Those people.
Chick-fil-A say save a cow.
Right.
You might want to listen to that being on your little regiment you on.
You are the
Ben,
original.
stop that.
I'm just saying.
See?
I'm just
See?
saying. You know, anyway, when I was growing up, I watched all of the nature shows and read National Geographic magazines for hours. I loved being around animals, and so for a while, I thought I wanted to work in a zoo. Now, this isn't me. This is hypothetical.
Right, I'm gonna say you want to be in a zoo.
Only thing I saw on National Geographic was the African women with the things on their head jiggling,
Right.
walking across.
Right,
I'm
with
just
no brawn.
now Bobby said that.
I said that.
You saw Bobby said
That's
that.
what I remember.
I was
seeing.
one. I just said the thing on the head. I was leaving that alone altogether because Bobby got issues.
When I was a kid and I watched National Geographic, I only watched it for that reason. I wasn't
Wow.
really
So
watching
you was a child purge.
it. Yes.
That's what you're really saying. That you
You
were.
really need a life.
I was like,
purpose.
I
Okay.
have no clothes on.
Yeah, that explains a lot, Bobby. It really does.
I'm just saying.
Anyway, I also thought about being a chef, but I decided it wasn't right for me.
Now that is you.
Well, yeah, but I cook.
You
Yeah,
do dabble.
I do my
Yeah, you
thing.
do dabble.
Yeah, I do my little thing a little bit. Y'all heard that? Brother can get down.
You do dabble now. I ain't playing.
Anyway, my best subject in school was writing, so I got a college degree in English. Now I'm working in an advertising firm. After taking the time to go through and answer all the questions regarding her mastery ingredients, she was able to come up with her life purpose statement. Here are some of her answers for the mastery ingredients. Gifts and talents.
Okay.
What I am great at.
Okay.
Using my own warm, engaging voice.
Okay.
And I guess it's going to have an engaging voice coming up to you real soon, so
Real
y'all
soon.
stay tuned.
Right around the corner.
Okay? Creating funny animal noises and voices. Understanding the small details that make up the daily life of an animal. Finding the humor in animals and how closely they relate to humans. Now, the next thing is things I love. What I want to work with. Wild animals, beauty and nature. Indigenous animal stories. Favorite writing pen. Camping gear. Backpack full of exotic spices. A video camera. An idea notebook. Or a tape recorder.
Okay. All right. Activities I love. What I would love to get paid to do. That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
Using my imagination to create stories. Writing a humorous ad copy. Okay. Creating ad campaigns that make people stop and think. Writing short stories and animated film dialogues. I want to do this stuff right here.
Or write some short stories.
Yeah. Write some stories.
Or just make videos.
I can do videos too. Inspiring.
You
and
never made a video?
entertaining. I made a video before.
Or what?
I made a video before. I do video editing, Jazz. I'm sorry. They didn't know that. You just finding that out. I'm sorry. Inspiring and entertaining children who will change the world with their actions. Okay? Now, this is places I love. Where I would love to work. Oh, recording studio.
That sounds
What?
like you. That sounds like you.
Man. Zoos and animal
When
parks.
did you know that you liked recording studios?
Probably 10 minutes ago.
No, it wasn't. No.
When did you know that? You knew it as a kid?
I was.
He
I
probably
started-
a
I started
cobbler,
singing. I started-
Tamar, and some more stuff.
I started singing at 17. So that's when I got involved in the music.
Let
But
us
then,
hear something.
Like you take pictures and stuff. I
Right.
always know that. So did you always take pictures like when you was a smaller person?
I want to hear Eric
No.
sing
Was you
something.
younger? When you were younger, did you take
Younger.
pictures? I didn't mean to say small.
Thank you for.
I mean, I'm sorry.
No, when I was
Come on.
younger, I didn't.
Hit something.
Hit what, Chad?
I don't know, whatever. You know, you're going to be a fake
You give
Kirk
me-
Franklin.
you
go
give
ahead
me-
and give
you
me
give me something
Nah,
to hit. I don't know what that
I'm
is.
not getting. You the one said I've been singing since I was 17.
I
So
didn't
you
say
should
it
have
like
it
that.
all.
I'm
Yes,
just
you
saying.
did.
You mean
You
you
should
was
have it
singing in
all.
the shower and stuff like that? You didn't like singing.
The first song I ever sang was "Always and Forever." That's the first song I sang.
Wow, you
Alright.
can sing.
Don't you have something, what is that? Center of my joy or something like that? Go ahead and hit that.
Jesus, you're the center of my joy.
Okay, sir.
All right, I'm done.
Okay, good.
Keep
Keep
singing
it.
no more. Leave me alone.
That was pretty good though.
It was all right.
I can't sing, so I know wood when I hear it.
For your strength in the Lord.
If you can,
I can't.
Some more places I love: Natural History Museum. I did like going there, and theaters. Love the theaters, man. I love movies.
Oh yeah,
Love it.
but you're in theater.
I'm in theater.
Yeah, that's what
Movie buff too.
Yeah, right.
I'm sorry. For
People
doing
I
so much.
love, who I would love to work with. Creative ad directors, film directors, curious children, indigenous tribes and authors. Experiences I love, what would make my workday amazing? Being in the flow of storytelling, having an audience on the edge of their seats, finding the right words to get across how we and the animals need each other. That
Wow.
sounds like something my wife used to listen to when I had little kids. Used to watch Sprout, you know, the talking train and all that kind of stuff. That's, I don't even know.
I didn't see that one.
Yeah, but
Yeah,
people that
I-
like that
yeah.
stuff, you know what they do? They turn around and write stories for kids.
Oh, okay, yeah.
You know what I mean? If you really like getting into that.
Yeah, I didn't see that.
Yeah, feeling challenged to think outside the box and explore new places.
That is.
I like
interesting,
that.
interesting. Now we want to remind everybody these are just the examples or the answers to the mastery ingredients for the
Right.
example that we're using, not necessarily what I'm feeling or thinking of my life or Bobby's, Eric's, y'all. Whatever.
Eric,
Anyway,
yeah, he likes
needs
everything.
and problems that I love.
Yeah, I'm sick.
What I would love to have an impact on.
Yes.
The world needs an honest, non-judgmental, trustworthy spokesman for wildlife issues. We also need a better way to teach how we can use our natural resources in a win-win approach that benefits mankind and the planet. We need,
Recycle.
basically, right?
Yeah. I just feel a need to recycle. You ever feel a need to just recycle?
Hate recycling.
Be simple. That's all I'm gonna say. We need to solve the problem that most people do not realize the long-term impact of their life choices on the future of the world.
I have a dream today.
And the dream should be clean up after yourself. Quit littering.
Throwing stuff out your window of your car.
I hate to go visit somebody, especially they're in an apartment, you walk up and it's just cigarette butts all outside because, you got some trifling folk that just chuck everything,
You getting off course. You was about to have a
Your
moment.
granddaddy.
You was about to have a moment.
No, I wasn't.
Right.
Now, so here is her life purpose statement now, based off of the answers of the mastery ingredients. She says her purpose in life is, I want to be a spokesman for wildlife issues and help people connect their daily actions to saving the wildlife on this planet. Using her warm, engaging voice to create animal voices over the camp stove and after dinner over a campfire, she will share the stories that highlight the wonders of the natural world and her conversation with the animals and wildlife that is shared with the planet.
Wow. That is really amazing.
Yeah, it kind of just sounds like she wanted to be Bobby McFerrin or something.
Sounds like some white people.
Don't worry. Be happy. Finding humor in daily situations. You should be able to find humor when a bear comes and mauls your
Wildlife
mate.
camping trip.
You should find some humor in that. Or catching squirrels humping to procreate.
To procreate.
That can
I gotta
be
get that on
funny. That
camera.
can be funny. Bob, check it out.
There's a bear. Bob, come here quick.
I would transform the safari and wildlife outback camping trip into an adventure
Ain't
that
no black
opens
folks out in
and
the
charges
safari talking
hearts.
about, I want to transfer all this.
All them black people in Africa, they all in a safari.
But
They
they
just ain't a safari. That's the backyard for them. That's the only difference,
Black folks don't go camping.
Have a spear, we'll eat.
They do.
Who goes camping?
Not a lot of them.
I've been camping, Bobby.
Do go camping.
Well, how old were you? Yeah.
I went camping. I took my son camping about 4 years ago.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh my God! I went camping in my backyard.
Oh, did you? That's
Yeah.
not really
That's
camping now.
as far as we got.
That's called a cookout.
I never
We went back
camped.
in the house till about 3 o'clock in the morning when it got real
Oh,
cold.
when the
Go
mosquitoes came out.
inside.
Oh, okay.
Never been camping.
Anyway, back to this. She said she would transform a wave of quiet understanding and activism for saving endangered species and supporting sustainable environments for wildlife.
That's a lot to go through. Whew. She's pretty amazing.
And a lot of that could be something just as simple as really just, trying to help cut down on pollution and things of that nature, not littering, plant a tree here, there, care about your environment, which is important.
I watch the Animal Channel, and they have the lions and stuff on there, when they talk about how lions in the safari, how they live and all that.
Right.
So because I enjoy that, I end up giving money to the Save a Lion program so that we can, help save the lives of these endangered lions in America, over in Africa. So I guess I could say that is my life's choice. So I just went ahead and gave some money to that program, and so I guess I could say that's part of what I want to do. But I'm not.
That was
Right.
sweet. That was sweet.
Now, I had the fortunate opportunity to go to Africa twice in my life, and it's an experience I think everybody should really, if they get an opportunity. I actually don't get an opportunity. You should make that, one of the quests that you have in life. Put that on your bucket list to get there, because it really gives you a whole new perspective on life in general, on your culture, your heritage, and just on how fortunate you are in this country and some of the things that we actually take for granted as well.
Well, I tell you, when I went to Africa on a missionary trip, and when I first go, when you first go, you think, I'm going to Mother Africa. It's going to be great. Mm-hmm. And I can't say it was great, because when I got there, we stayed in this mud tent-like place.
A hut.
Yeah. And at night, we wasn't eating McDonald's, Burger King.
Right.
We was eating stuff they eat, and you ever ate goat that is freshly killed goat?
Yeah, it's kind of rank.
Yes.
Yeah.
And you see it out there, and they been preparing it.
Yeah.
And we have an interpreter, and we here supposed to be bringing the gospel to them. We supposed to be bringing the gospel to them. Terrible experience for me.
Wow.
Because them mosquitoes was eating me alive.
Did you notice that the mosquitoes over there run and take off, and when they land?
Yeah, man, it wasn't cool.
Yeah, that was wild.
Cool. So, anyway.
Huge mosquitoes.
Anyway, let's go, Eric. I'm sorry.
It sounds like this lady really knows her life purpose and what she was put here to do. And that's good. And I hope everybody else can find this, but we're going to continue in the show. All right, where there is this time for our guest.
Finally.
There was a time when our guest wasn't sure what her life purpose was, but after going through plenty, can I say plenty again?
Say it again.
After going through plenty of tests and trials,
trials and tribulations,
tests and trials that we will allow her to share with you, she came to know her life purpose.
Yes, sir.
Let me first read an excerpt from her book entitled Running on G. Okay?
Running on G.
Running on G. And it reads as follows.
Keep running.
Are you one of those people who drive your car until the meter stick is under the E?
I do.
Charles, I'm guilty.
I do that.
No.
I start praying when the light come on.
I don't play that game.
Have you tested the limits to see how far you can go? How far you can go with the gas light on before you break down? Yes, I have. Thank you.
So have. And
Do
have
you
ran
put
out.
$10 in the tank when you know it takes $50 to fill up?
I ain't got but
do.
10.
And that was a roll of quarters.
Yes, sir.
So Ms. James says, I was one of those people. Fortunately, I only ran out of gas 3 times in my life.
Fortunately.
Was it luck or was it something else? The day I finally felt ashamed for someone to see me putting $4 in a gas tank. I know how that feels. I realized that this bad habit was a metaphor for life. I spent most of my life feeling like I was functioning on fumes. You talking to me?
Shut up and finish what you got.
Keep
You
breathing.
engage yourself.
I was living with a just enough mentality, doing what was necessary to make it through the next day or next crisis without breaking down. I had dreams, but I was getting nowhere fast and didn't know why. Wow. When I finally got sick and tired of being sick and tired, I decided that I deserve better. And
She's
you did,
smiling.
girl.
She's smiling. She like that. Yeah.
My family, I deserve better. My family deserved better.
Yes.
And I would pursue better.
Yes.
Whatever that meant.
Whatever.
in the seemingly reckless pursuit of what most would say was an impossible dream, I started on a journey that revealed much more about my past.
To a far country.
And this is deep, y'all.
Yeah, it's deep.
About my past, my beliefs, and my destiny
Woo!
than I could even ever imagine.
Wow. Paul, you got a blessing.
This memoir draws you into the intimate details of how mess collided with the love of God.
Yes.
To catapult me into my purpose.
All right now.
My truth, which you will read, has been painfully glorious, is why I know that every time I should have been stranded on the side of the road, it was the grace of God that was filling my tank. I feel like shouting right here.
Give it up, give it up.
So I asked again, what is filling your tank? What's filling your tank, Bobby?
Jesus!
Or shall I ask who?
Jesus!
All right. So without further ado, let me introduce to you Miss Kimberly J. James.
J. James.
She is the founder, president, and director
Boy,
of
she's
Dream
smiling.
in Color. Because I
Dream
saw
in
her.
Color.
I saw her on the news thing. I saw that on the excellent Dream in Color. She is a life coach, a speaker.
Yes.
So without further ado, say hello to the people, Miss Kim
Miss
James.
Etta James,
Hello,
everybody.
hello,
Etta James.
hello.
Oh my goodness. Hello. Hello, hello.
Hello.
Enough said.
Okay, Jay.
Thanks for coming out. Good night.
That's right.
God bless you.
Kim, first you got to explain how you came up with the title for the book. You know, first you got to explain how you came up with the title of the book, and can you just give us a little background in Dream in Color and how it came about?
Well, the title of the book, I think the title of the book came about when I was literally standing at the gas station doing the little couple of dollars in the gas tank. And I just think over and over again, why do I do this? And I do it all the time. And it was
So you was broke.
broken and broke. Broken and broke all the time. And, you know, there were a series of things that would happen to me, and I would tell my friends about it, tell my family about it, and they were always saying, you need to write this stuff down because just some of the things you've been through, people wouldn't believe, and the things that you've survived, you know, and still standing tall. So after that, I would say, oh, one day I'll write a book, maybe, you know, but it was just a fleeting thought in my mind. It wasn't something I really took seriously. And then when the real test and trial came, I started just documenting the things that I was going through as I went through them because I didn't want to forget the lesson. Because I didn't want to repeat.
Okay.
I didn't want to repeat
Right.
the crisis because I didn't get the lesson. So I was just writing it down just for my own sake.
Wow.
I'm not
Like-
crazy.
Like a journal. And then it evolved, you know, into a book. And I guess I decided when I was writing it, I thought I was just writing it to tell the story about how Dream in Color came to be.
Right.
But in the process of figuring out how, why, what, you know, whatever with Dream in Color, it evolved and it took me back to the root, which I didn't know went so deep
Yeah, I did.
into my past and my family's history.
So you were like your own Dr. Phil, huh? Laid on your own couch. Had
Yes.
a mirror on the ceiling and just talk to yourself.
Yes. No, not to myself, to the Holy
To
Spirit.
the
Like,
Holy
seriously?
Spirit. All right.
Still, again, can I get over myself already? But, you know.
Wow. And so tell us a little bit about Dream in Color.
Dream in Color is a nonprofit organization that I started back in 2005, and it was established to provide performing arts education programs for kids, particularly minorities and kids in underprivileged communities.
Got you.
Because when I was growing up, I was always what I guess to politely say the only raisin in the buttermilk. You
Yes.
know? I grew up in Fairfax County.
Oh, yes.
So, you know, I grew up taking dance and things, and it was something that I always loved to do, but I was always the only one that looked like me in the group. And it took a while for me to realize why I was the only one. So the dance
You
team.
didn't realize you was black, but
No, I knew I was black, but I didn't realize why there were so few black people involved in dance. So, you know, when I was going to dance, my friends were on the corner, you know. And
What's she going to dance for?
hooking up, you know, with their friends, right? And I was the little goody two shoes going to dance class. But it wasn't until after, I guess, the bulk of the crises in my childhood that I realized that that's what separated me from a lot of other people that went through similar things that I did. So in a sense, dance kind of became my savior, or it was at least a gift that God gave me, a talent, something that I could stay connected to, right? And it kept my spirit engaged until I got old enough and mature enough to figure out what I really
Was you a good dancer?
wanted. I was. And I was good, and I didn't have to try very hard at it. It was just a natural, it was a gift. And I'm disappointed that I was not pushed harder and challenged more in it. So when I got to a certain level, I went to Hampton University. And when I got there and I realized there were so many, don't go there. When there were so many talented, beautiful black dancers out there in the world, coming from all over the country, I felt cheated from what I had access to in my home area. So when I got out of school, I started directing, ironically, the dance program that I was once a part of as a kid. And I realized how expensive it was. And my mom never told me. She just paid for it. You know, she worked a couple jobs if she had to, and she just sucked it up and she did it. But, and I appreciate that.
If I remember in the book, though, at this point, you kind of secretly wanted to do some stuff in dance at that point?
I did. Well, I dabbled. I dabbled around, you know. I danced for the St. Louis Rams for a season when my husband was in law school. And really, I did that just kind of out of spite. I might not want to tell that story.
Tell a story. This is off the cuff. Let it out. Purge yourself.
I was upset that he was going for a fellas weekend and didn't tell me till the last minute. So while he was gone, I heard about the audition on the radio, and I just decided to show up and see what happened. And 500 women auditioned, and they only picked 5 new people, and I made one of those 5.
You still got your pom-poms?
So by the time he came home, I had tassels and cowboy boots laid out, and he was not thrilled about that. So, but it was an experience worth having. I probably wouldn't do it again. But there's a lot of things about large groups of catty women that
you was probably one of a few raisins in that group.
I was one of the few raisins, yes. So
this your book is juicy. It's just a lot of things in there. Some things in there that I was reading and I was like, what? Wow, you know. I don't know, one part of the book you spoke about going to meet Pastor Jamal Bryant. Did that happen?
Actually, yes. When I wrapped up writing the book, I printed it all out and I took it to a deliverance service that he had that following weekend. And I got there hoping to have an opportunity to speak with him. Excuse me. But, you know, in the moment, all was going on and I wasn't able to do that. However, I ended up sitting in the front row right next to his father, who I didn't know was his father, until partway through the service. And I turned around and asked him, would he mind giving it to him? And I briefly told him the story that I had gotten to the point that I was not going to finish the book because it was so painful to expose so much of myself, and that I was on his prayer call when he spoke to me and said, there's somebody on this line that God said to complete the assignment that I gave to you to finish this book, and they're not doing it because they're afraid of what people will think. Wow. So I said within a week I wrapped it up, and I was here to show him that he spoke that into me and that I completed the assignment.
That's great. Okay.
So I did watch it go into his hands, but I have not heard from him, and I did not put it in his
Call
hands.
the girls, Jamal. Come on, brother.
You You know, put that Bible down and call it.
I'm saying.
You know, that's what's up. But like I said,
It was Casey and JoJo. You call them.
Yeah.
You call Kim.
I would have called him.
Don't go there.
Because she ain't got a reality show yet.
Oh, we already know about Jamal.
We're playing.
We done talked about
You
Jamal.
know.
Yes.
so
We know where you stay down in the harbor.
Yeah.
A little penthouse suite.
it's some things,
Know where you at, player.
there's some things that took place in the book. I'm trying not to get too much out because y'all need to go out and get this book. But I do know one thing that sort of sparked my curiosity was when it was talking about how you had to go deep into your past. I mean, deep to find out what was going on because it's something that you experienced in the book from family.
Mm-hmm.
You know, what were you talking about right there? What was going on right there?
I was in the middle of a crisis with Dream in Color. Our studio suddenly flooded, and I was standing in several inches of water, and I felt like I was at a breaking point because for years I had been struggling and fighting so hard to build a business and keep things going in the current economy. And after the flood happened, I literally stood in the water and said, God, I can't move my feet from this spot. You're going to have to do it for me, and you're going to have to fix this problem for me. And the next day, he sent me who I call an angel by the name of John.
John, I remember hearing about John.
The Baptist.
I remember John.
And
John played a pivotal role in the book.
he played a very pivotal role.
Yeah.
He walked into my life and he looked at me and he spoke some things into me
Tell
and
your
told
husband
me.
you need to find John.
He's met John. He's met John. And he looked at me and he told me that I had
Shackles.
a shackle around my neck.
Wow,
And for a
okay.
year, I had been dealing with this throat issue. And I knew that John had a gift to see into the spirit. So I said, just tell me. Just tell me what's wrong with me. And I'll suck it up and deal with it. And I thought he was going to say something like cancer or something like that because someone in my family had recently passed from that. And so once he spoke that to me, I knew why, but he said he had already seen it. And so I revealed to him that I had been sexually abused for several years throughout my childhood, and that you know, I knew that was something. It was something that I actually thought I had already dealt with.
Right.
But he said that the shackle represented that it was not something that just happened to me. It was something that went back 5 generations.
Yeah.
And that if I could trace it back to the root, I could break the curse, not just for myself, but for everyone in our family. So
Yeah, and 20-minute baths.
that started me on a journey I was not prepared
Wow.
to have to go
You got to
through.
read about the 20-minute baths. Oh, I'm telling you.
Spiritual warfare.
Yes, sir.
Spiritual warfare.
Don't tell them about that, though. They got to read the book.
No,
on that
they
one.
gotta read that. But let's just say the demons were exorcised.
Yeah.
So,
And you hear these stories so much about sexual abuse, you know, in families, and it's always somebody that's close. It's always a relative, you know, that's there with you. You know, I had experience with a friend of mine who was sexually abused, and her sisters were as well. Her sisters were as well, but nobody communicated with each other.
right.
Nobody told each other. Was that also something that you experienced with other parties?
I was 36 before I learned that almost every female on that side of the family, and I'm talking about over 50 women
Yeah.
in one side of the family, had all experienced the same thing from the same few.
From the same few men
The
in
same
the family.
few
Wow.
men.
Because I
in
think
our
I
family.
remember reading in the book you were talking about, you know, every female in your family had a secret. You know, like this same kind of dark secret.
We all had that same secret, but we all thought we were the only one. So
Right,
no one
exactly.
said anything.
Exactly.
Everybody treated each other
That's usually how
badly,
Right.
you know, as a result of what they were trying to hide.
Sure,
but
sure.
nobody knew we were all
We all trying
united
to hide it.
by the
Oh, my
same.
goodness. So were you able to help any of them be delivered? Because I didn't get that. I got to page like 200. I didn't get to the end. I didn't get to the end. All right.
Then
but
you need to leave the
I gotta
room
leave the
until we
room.
finish.
I'm
You
gonna read the rest,
gotta
though.
do your
I'm gonna read
assignment.
the rest. I don't
Complete
finish
your
my
assignment.
assignment. But were you able to help any of them be delivered after you were delivered?
Yes. The 4 other women that are closest to me on that side of the family that all read it all felt equally blessed and set free from what I was willing to share. Because what God told me was, if I had the courage to tell the whole story, the ugly truth, the stuff that people are afraid to say out loud, and those deepest thoughts, that was what was going to break the chains off of other people in similar circumstances. Because we got a whole lot of stuff up in our head that we don't want people to know.
Well, as long as you keep the secret in the dark, Satan can rule.
Exactly.
When you bring it to light, then he has to flee.
You breaking that chain.
Yeah.
That's right.
Do you think you would have found your life purpose without God's God? Because people always, on this show, people always say things like this. You guys talk a lot about Jesus. You talk a lot about God. So you almost sound like you can't find your purpose unless you know God. But I'm asking you, could you have found your purpose without God's guidance?
I think God is so good that he's got a way of leading you to your purpose, whether you give him credit for it or not.
Good answer.
Very good.
That's a good answer. God, right off top of the head.
He takes people and he will guide them down a certain direction, and sometimes he just may put so much pressure on you that he squeezes you into following a certain path that you don't even know what happened to you, but you just find yourself going a certain direction. And usually you might not find him until you get to where you think it is that you're trying to go, but he's just so good that way that,
Let me ask you another question. Well, while getting to your purpose and starting the business.
I'm still getting to my purpose.
Starting the business. I mean, if you were to say, how many times were you tempted to stop?
Every day.
So it's not easy.
It was never easy, but what I learned is having an anointing is never easy. It's never comfortable. It's always stressful. And the whole time I just kept praying, can it just get easy? Can I just rest for a minute?
Take a break on the side
and
of the road.
it's it's just it gets complicated, but I think it's that kind of pressure that pushes you creatively to keep seeking more. And ironically, it turned out that Dream in Color, as hard as I fought for it and to build it, is not really what my purpose is. It was the passion that he gave me, and I had to go through that to keep me connected to something that I was so passionate about that would make me take the right fork in the road to be able to get to what the real purpose was.
Oh, wow.
So, if you had the opportunity to go back and change things, would you change them? Would you leave them the same? Your life experience, things that you went through. How do you look at that?
I have to say now that as painful as it's been, I wouldn't change it because I wouldn't know what I know now. And I wouldn't be able...
Life experiences make you who you are.
And I wouldn't be able to help people and be as authentic as I am with what I do or what I feel like I'm called to do now if I didn't have those experiences. One of my husband's favorite phrases is that nobody cares what you have to say until they know that you care. So, that's kind of the philosophy I try to live by. And by people reading the book, they know I done been through some stuff.
And speaking of, how did you come to know being a life coach was what your purpose is?
I really didn't. It was just something that kind of got pulled out of me. I thought my purpose was to start this organization and to run a dance studio and that it was going to be fun and I was going to get to dance and do all this stuff. But that's not what it was. That's really just my hobby. And it's something that I now facilitate for other people to be able to do. And hopefully give that type of creative outlet for other kids, particularly kids that are troubled, that need some sort of healthy, productive outlet to deal with, whatever they may have going on in their life. But what I learned in the process was that my real calling is mentoring, life coaching, and helping people kind of break chains off of their own life and their own circumstances. I've always been someone who's been able to motivate and inspire people to want and do better for themselves.
I can see that.
Even when I wasn't doing it on purpose, just in general conversations, I may say something not thinking that actually triggers something in someone that will help them. But when God told me that my hands-on role with Dream in Color was coming to a close because there was a next, that scared me to death. Because I'm like, what's next now? You know?
Right.
And whatever it is, it can't possibly be as hard as what I just went through to build this, because I'm not going to do it.
Not going to make it.
I'm just not going to do it. You know? But I've always been hard-headed, and I've always been... I've always been a bit rebellious. Ask my mother, ask my husband.
Stubborn little Kim. At him again.
Yes, I have been. So, God kind of has to handle me and put me in my place at times to keep me on track and make me do what I'm supposed to do. So I've learned recently that obedience is a lot less painful than disobedience. And ironically, I called myself taking a break and letting myself rest, and I took about a year off and stayed home and really focused on rebuilding my family and making sure my kids were happy and my marriage was whole. And I started working a part-time job with a charter yacht company in the DC area. And the day that my boss said, we're about to cut the hours because boating season is over, and I started to panic about, okay, where's money going to come from now? I said, okay, God, whatever. If you say that this chapter is over, whatever the next is, tell it to me and I'll just suck it up and do it. I'm not going to fight anymore. And an hour later, a woman walked down to the marina to rent one of the yachts for her birthday. And she ended up being the woman that donated me a mansion in Upper Marlboro to open the next chapter. the new life coaching center.
I saw the mansion.
So,
the mansion is like that.
So here I am now with still no money, but a facility and somebody who's willing to back me and support me to create a life coaching retreat for troubled teens. So that is the new chapter.
Is that one of the programs that you have facilitated out of Dreams in Color?
It is. It's the new program that I am starting. Yes, it's always been arts focused before, mainly the dance and music programs. But this program is going to be totally comprehensive, but it's also going to have an art therapy focus. So anybody that comes to the center and is involved in the life coaching program services will also be engaged in dance, music, learn how to play instruments, sing, something
Age group
that will give them preteen and teenagers, like 13 to 18 or so.
So making it more creative and having an art focus on things of that nature, is that more so because whenever you were coming up and engaged on that creative side,
right,
that allowed
dance,
you to
that was
focus
my
on
voice.
Something else allowed you to survive.
Like dancing was my voice when I couldn't say out loud what I was feeling. You know, it was a nonverbal communication.
So let me ask you a question real quick, Kim. When you wrote this book with all this juicy information in it, okay?
That's your second time using juicy. We're going to have a conversation when this is over.
This is when we talk about you and your juicy conversation.
Outside player.
My question is, how did your husband feel reading the book, you know?
About the juicy book.
This information. How did he feel about that?
I will tell you the truth. I was terrified that...
He's going to hear this, right?
Yes, he's listening. You listening, boo. Okay. I know you love me. I was terrified when I was writing it. It was really an emotional download, and I just had to get it all out. He, towards the end, was really encouraging me to finish it because he knew ultimately it was going to help me in the long run.
Oh my God.
And I don't know if either of us knew it would ever actually be published. I think maybe he was hoping I was just going to write it, get it out my system, tuck it under the bed, and move on. But he read it. He read it as soon as I finished it. He was the first one I handed it to. And he got to read the whole thing from the beginning to the end. So I was able to communicate to him through the book all the things I was afraid to say throughout our 14-year relationship up to that point. So
before the edits.
Before the edits. It was just the raw. Yes, the raw.
He called the raw.
Everything.
Raw digger.
And, you know, I was pacing downstairs, waiting, knowing he was upstairs, reading it, waiting, was he done? And
like, Lord, be with me. You
he
know
just came down.
Yeah.
Yes, I was needing divine intervention, right? And he just came down and he hugged me and kissed me and said he was proud of me. Wow. And so that was a new beginning for us, I think, in our relationship.
Reading that book would be a new beginning.
And I think he understood me at a totally different level. And which is really unfortunate, particularly that a lot of black families don't have the type of connection that they can communicate. I'm sure he called me crazy. He probably still does. But I was calling me crazy too. But the thing was, I wanted my marriage to work so badly. And I wanted to raise two young, strong, intelligent black men that were loved properly. And I knew I couldn't do that for them if I wasn't whole. So they were my motivation, all three of them. And he loved me through my mess enough for me to deal with myself. And it all came back together. So,
well, I know a lot of black kids, you know, when you start hearing the term life coach in the black community, it doesn't always have a positive spin on it. Usually you think it's...
They may not even know the term. They just think of it as therapy.
Yeah, therapy, exactly.
But it's different.
So if I was a person, or if I might have no young people that may need a life coach, how would you identify yourself that, you know, hey, I need a life coach, I should go get a life coach? I mean, you know, are there some characteristics, some issues that they might be dealing with that they need to go to a life coach instead of a pastor, or instead of a psychologist or a psychotherapist?
I try to relate what a life coach does to another type of coach, like an athletic coach or something like that. Okay. A therapist is somebody that you lay on the couch, you tell them all your problems, they tell you what's wrong with you, and they tell you what to do. But as a coach, and even in sports, they teach you the skills and you do it yourself. So as a life coach, it's not my job to tell you what's wrong with you. It's my job to ask you the right questions so you figure it out for yourself. And the thing is, you won't create lasting change for yourself unless you come up with your own answers.
That's right.
Because you know somebody else telling you, you do the steps 1 through 10, and then everything's, you know, stir, mix, and it's all good. That's just not how life works. Because everybody's different and things get very complicated. So as a coach, I try to engage everybody. I challenge them to make sure, I challenge them to really dig into themselves and really explore what's the root or what's behind whatever their current actions are. I'm not necessarily trying to fix somebody's past or their issues. I'm trying to help them move forward with the information that they have from wherever it is that they came from. So if somebody wants to, they feel like they're stuck, they can't get ahead in their career. You know, they might need a coach just to be that person, to be their accountability partner and help them get unstuck and figure out what is it that they're not doing or what's the missing link to help them be able to move forward. If people have family relationship issues, you know, marriage things, and they want to figure out where they're stuck, you know, and work it out. It's, you know, it's that type of thing.
So you're trying to motivate and compel them to think critically and look introspectively at themselves.
Exactly, at themselves.
I say that because I know a lady who was on the verge of getting divorced. And so they decide to reconcile. So she runs back to the husband, right? And now she's home with kids and she hates it. But she didn't want to be divorced, but she didn't like what that life was. So she's having a problem coping with that life of being the stay-at-home mom when she had a career, but now she's back home because that was causing a problem.
It's coping with the choice. The thing is, it's taking it's encouraging them to take responsibility for whatever choices they made for themselves and their own actions. Because you say whatever you got going on inside your head, that's what you draw to you.
Right.
So, you know, you have to
So
think.
don't tell her, shut up and deal with it.
No.
Basically.
Like a coach would say, do it! You made a choice, do what you did!
No, you tell her to figure out
Figure it out!
what aspect of it has got her uncomfortable and why does that make her uncomfortable so she can work out that particular issue. It may not be the kids.
That's why you can't help
Not
nobody.
the kids. Okay, thank you.
Sure.
Oh, so it is me. Wow, this has been a great idea. Great time and a great experience with you,
Idea?
Kim. I
What is
appreciate
wrong
it.
with you?
Oh, my mind was going somewhere
What
else.
idea is that?
I'm sorry. Can I fix it? Jesus, these people. All right. Well, let me start again. Wow, this has been great. It's been a pleasure having you on the show. For
Yes,
Thank you for
yes,
having
yes.
me.
Yes, man.
Tell everyone
And thank
where
you for the
your
work that you
studio
do.
is located. That if you have a website, give them that information too. So give me your website. Throw it out there.
The website for the book is www.kimberlyjjames.com.
J. James.
J. James.
Okay.
Put my middle initial in there. There's more than one Kimberly James on the web.
Okay.
Or you can call me on the Diamonds in the Rough line at 202-552-1458. And the Dream in Color Foundation's website is www.dreamincolourdance.org.
Okay. So if I need a life coach, I can go to one of those
Yep.
or call that number. Give me that number again or write it down on my hand.
202
Because I need a coach.
202-552-1458.
Oh, gosh. All right. These brothers is about to jump on me right now. So, hey, we want to thank you and applaud you for coming.
Thank
Thoroughly
you.
enjoyed
Yes.
it.
Thanks for having me,
good.
So
fellas.
before we get out of here, fellas, we got to get on the contest. All right?
Yeah,
so Chad,
yeah.
go
Gotta
ahead
let
with
them
the
know.
contest.
Make sure people that's listening, those of you still on here, thank you. Make sure you get registered on Spreaker, the Spreaker website, so that you can be a part of the contest that starts.
Websites.
I didn't say site.
Spreaker website.
I said website.
Okay, I'm sorry.
All right, go ahead.
It's my left ear. My left ear is
It probably is your left ear and your right ear.
and my right ear.
Yeah.
So who's getting the first appointment with me once this is over? Because all y'all got some issues we need to
You're right.
work out.
Hey.
You know we have a boxer. He might need it first.
Good.
I don't mind. I take some coaching.
Moving on to the contest.
Need some coaching.
Whatever. Anyway, make sure you registered on the Spreaker website so that you can be a part of the contest that starts on February 3rd. Go to www.spreaker.com, register with your email address, type in "off the cuff" in the search box, and then click the follow button to become a follower of the show. This will qualify you for all of the contests. Hold on, that's not all. We have something else new taking place. Tell them about that new, Eric.
All right, check it out.
And don't say nothing is juicy. Just tell them about
Check this out. All right.
We got some juicy stuff.
This is some juicy stuff right here.
See, yeah. I'm
You
upset
hear talking about
upset
juicy.
about you talking about juicy. I'm real upset about
All these juicy references.
All right. We're available every Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday
Juicy Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday.
from 7 to 8 to take your questions or offer advice regarding any situation you might
No,
have.
Eric nickname is delicious.
Y'all might not want their advice. You might want my advice.
I had to write it on the chat.
Go to www.menoffthecuff.com. Y'all got to check out the website out too, y'all. www.menoffthecuff.com. Click on the live chat tab. Live chat tab. Okay? Log in and let the chat begin. So hit us up 7 to 8, Monday through Wednesday. All right?
That's it.
That's it.
Let's go, man. Let's get out of here.
Please.
So see you back here next week.
Same place, same
Why
time.
you saying
Where we keeps it real, God loves it, and we out.
We out.
Say bye to the people.
Why you keep
Kim.
saying
Holla!
Oh, that's it.
Holla time!
That wasn't really a holler, but we'll take it.
It's off the cuff, 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 yeah. It's off the cuff, it's off the cuff, it's off the cuff, it's off the cuff,
This
yeah.
is God ordained. mission, fulfilling this vision, releasing contention in this God we praise. The one who keeps us from falling, receiving his fullness. Who that man is awesome. You see, it's every day we celebrate. Right now it's time for us to elevate. So get your hands up, cause Hosanna's great. And see, they call it off the cuff because we tailor-made.
Off the cuff.